right? You can watch from your screen. It's there, I shared it. However, not all free market supporters today would support absolutely unregulated markets. Now, what do you mean by unregulated markets? That market which is not regulated, that is unregulated. You know, all markets are basically markets are regulated markets. But free supporters said there should be, there should be no regulations. Free markets, suppose many people are there who said that markets should have no regulations, and all any regulation is not free, and support of a free market. So many people, they don't support free market. Supporters today will not support absolutely unregulated market. हर कोई unregulated market को support नहीं करेगा. Many would now be willing to accept certain restrictions. There, suppose I said, for an example, a school is without any rule and regulation. So what do you think? You can come anytime, you can go from anytime from the school. There is a no regulation of the period, right? So what will be there in the school or college or any institution? There will be chaos. So market is also a type of institution where I told you yesterday also, buyer and seller meet in one point, and there should be rule and regulation of the market, because markets are basically run by the people. Okay, robots are, suppose robots, sir, you will say, sir, the robots are also there, but who is working behind the robots? People are there. So without manpower, without organized power, I must say, right? There will be, if there is no rule and regulation, then the market will not be market. It will be a chaos one, right? So, for instance, state could step in to ensure a basic minimum standard of living to all people, which I told you yesterday, so that they are able to compete on equal terms. But they might argue that even here, the most efficient way of providing people with basic services might be allowed to market in a healthcare, education services, healthcare and education should be related to it. Right. So I told you yesterday on about this all about free market supporters, unregulated markets, health services, then other aspect also. So one of the arguments put forward in favor of market distribution is that it gives us more choices. I left you yesterday here. There is no doubt what the market system gives us more choices as consumers. We have got more choices as consumers, right? We can choose the rice we eat and the school we go to, provided that we have to the means to pay for them. You know, let me put it in an easy way. Once there are supermarkets, big malls are there, and in your colony or in your gaon, in your village, some karyana shops are there. Right. So what to do? What is the difference between these two? In big malls and McDonald's and subways, the rich people used to go. Yeah, rich people who have the money to spend on them, they used to go. Right. You will not find basically daily wages or laborers. You will not find that they are going to have they have dine and dinner or lunch or breakfast in Subway or in McDonald's. No, you cannot do it. I don't think so. You saw them frequently, once in a blue moon. It could be happen, but not. It's a regular feature. It's not a regular feature, but it's a regular feature to go to a dhaba where rickshaw puller is also there, a businessman is also there. Well, all sort of path people, all sort of walk of life people, they used to go over there or in Karyana shop. It is open for everyone. Right, and that is also open for everyone, but that is much more costly. If I am not wrong. So means if you pay, you can pay. If you can pay, you can go there. Nobody stops you. Right. Many schools are very, our colleges or universities are very costly universities. Schools are very costly. Right. Colleges are very costly. So everybody cannot pay. If you can pay, you can go. If you cannot pay, you have to have some substitute of that. But regarding what is the difference between, okay, now I want to much more in a layout manner, government hospitals and private hospitals, nursing homes. What is the difference? You can have it. So if you can pay there, you can go there. But regarding the basic goods and services, what is the important in the availability of good quality goods and services at a cost people can afford? It doesn't mean that the quality should be deteriorated also. No, no. The quality should not be deteriorated. They are also human being. We are also a human being. Right. So quality should be good. Could be price, could be less. If a private agency do not find this profitable for them, they may prefer not to enter the particular market or to provide cheap and substandard services. You know, यदि आपके बिजनेस में if there is a no profit in your business, you will not go there. You will not able to enjoy that particular business aspect. That is why there are few private schools in remote rural areas, and the few which have been set up may be low quality. The same would be true of the healthcare or housing. In such situations, the government might help to say, some are BPL houses, BPL flats. Some are in posh locality flats, right? Some are few 4 or 5 lakh houses are there, one room straight. Some are in 1 crore 25 lakh. They start like this. So there is a difference between these two. There is a difference between private hospitals and government hospitals, private schools and government schools. But the government should take care of them. Government should look that the price rise should not be, there's a not so much gap between have and have not in the society. Then the society will not be able to then the society will not be able to do their regular aspects. Another argument often heard in defense of free market and private enterprises is that quality of services they provide so often superior to the provide the government institution, but the cost of such services may put them out of the reach of the poor. Private business tends to go there. Business would be most profitable, and hence free market eventually tend to work in the interest of the strong, the wealthy, and the powerful. I told you that the free markets are for private people, private owned people, and the business would be profitable. Hence, the free market eventually tend to work in the interest of the strong, wealthy, and powerful. Private markets. The result may be to deny rather than extended opportunities for those who are relatively weak and disadvantaged. So there is a difference between have and have nots all the time. In the markets affair also, in the shops affair also, in the houses also, in the health services also, there is. Arguments can be put forward on the both sides of the debate, but the free markets often exhibit a tendency to work in a favor of already privileged. Free markets are basically for the privileged society. Free markets are basically for the privileged society. This is why many argue that to ensure social justice, that states should step in to see that the basic facilities are made available to all the members of the society. So, what the people used to think, what the people used to argue, people used to argue that the basic facilities should be there for everyone in the society. For everyone in the society. The basic facilities, roti, kapra, and makan in a reasonable rates, it should be there. Health facilities, educational facilities should be reasonable in a rate so that everybody can live, right? With a dignified life, having a dignified life. In a democratic society, disagreements about issues of distribution and justice are inevitable and even healthy because they force us to examine different points to view and rationally defend our own views. So I stop over here, rest you will do yourself. So basically, in a democratic society, disagreements are there. In a democratic society, disagreements are always there. And arguments are always there. Discussions are always there. If the decisions are pending and arguments are not there, then it will be a very tough situation. When in politics, in democracy, there's always some opposition. One is a ruling party, one is an opposition party. Yes, ruling party always rule. It means it's ruling the country. Opposition party oppose the rules and regulation of whatever the ruling party is going to have. So what to do? They fight with to each other. They fight to each other, right? Fight doesn't mean that they have a big blows and all on their cheeks. Fight means fight on their arguments, right? So in our own country, many kinds of social and economic inequalities exist, and much remains to be done if they are to be reduced. If we want to reduce the difference between have and have-nots, if we want to reduce the social disagreements and many type of social inequalities in the society, then you have to come into a point, and you have to argue, you have to discuss, right? And if they are to be reduced, studying the different principles of justice should help us to discuss the issues involved and come to an agreement regarding the best way of pursuing justice. So basically, what we can do, we can do to reduce it and to study the different principles of justice. You know, your principle of justice could be much better, but it could be you can have a glimpse of another principle also for the justice, so that everyone should have the uh, minimum justice in the society, minimum level of standard of living, good standard of living. I'm not saying good standard of living, but it's a agreeable when you are justiciable upon that particular standard of living, dignified standard of living. So we have to work on it. So social justice was related to this chapter only. I hope you are you have completed, we have already completed chapter, and you have already agreed to discuss on all these things. And tomorrow I will start another chapter, and that is rights, aapke adhikar. That will be the another chapter. So till then, take care and have a nice time. Thank you.